Good evening. My name is Gogo Latotue. I am here over at Three Tides Restaurant and Bar in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. Every week, I seek to sit and have a conversation with someone who I deem to be a mover and a shaker, someone who's doing important things within our community. This evening is no different. I have the distinct pleasure of sitting here with Isabelle Camille, who is an author, and she has a very, very fascinating and important story to tell. So, Isabelle, welcome to Three Tides, and thank you for being here.
I'm very glad and happy to be here.
Isabelle, you know what my first question is going to be, right? I want to know who Isabelle Camille is. And when I say who, I'm not talking about the present. I want us to go back to when you were 5 years old.
Ooh, 5 years old. I'm from Haiti.
Okay.
I was raised in Haiti. I went to school and until about 18 when I went to the United States. Supposedly, I did not want to leave Haiti. I said to my parents, I'm going to study chemistry and I'll be back in 4 years. It's been 50.
Wow.
I met this fellow and that was it. That changed my life. So I've stayed here ever since. I went to university. I studied chemistry.
Before you go much further, when you first came to the States, where were you?
In New York.
In New York.
In New York.
Oh, okay.
I spent 2 years in New York, and winter is not my
Not your thing.
cup of tea. Second winter, I told my parents, no, it's not happening again. And I moved to Florida.
Okay. Okay.
And I came.
And then in Florida, that's when you pursued higher
I finished
education.
I finished my studies. I started working. I worked at the University of Florida as a chemist and worked for a few years as a chemist. And one day, we had 2 children. One son who was going to be 5 in November. And so he wouldn't be able to start school until the following year.
Right.
In the lab, I'm talking, oh, this is so annoying. He was really ready for kindergarten. I wish he could start. And oh, there is a private school that would accept him. Okay, so at lunchtime, I go to, yes, they accepted him to start kindergarten in September. And I'd like to meet the principal. So I go into his office. Hello, my name is Isabelle Camille. I'm a chemist at the University of Miami. We badly need a chemistry teacher. Do you want to join us? So I went back to the lab and said, guess what, guys? I'm going to
quit.
be a teacher. I quit. I quit. Everyone, they couldn't understand. They're like, your children will go for free at the University of Miami.
Right.
But my first child is starting kindergarten. I'm not thinking college.
So the mom instinct came in.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a
So that's how.
a switch, because you're going from adult education now to dealing with young ones.
Yeah.
How was that transition?
It was great. I always wanted to be a teacher. I say when I was young, every day I'd come home, my dolls, that's how I played with my dolls. I taught them what I learned in school. So I always wanted to be a teacher. So that's what it was. I became a teacher.
Okay. Now, so at that point, you basically had the same schedule that
my chair, exactly.
Okay.
So that worked out great.
Now, from there, how long did you stay in that role for? Was it a year or two until
no, 34 years.
34 years later?
I taught for 34 years.
Wow.
I retired 34 years later.
Congratulations.
I taught chemistry at the high school level and in college, at Miami-Dade College.
Right.
For 34 years.
Wow, congratulations. Congratulations.
Stop.
Now, you obviously have children, you have a family. As far as your religious orientation, what was that, or what is that?
Catholic, very strict. Especially with the children, it was every Sunday Mass. The kids were altar servers all their lives at church. So very Catholic.
Okay.
When I was leaving Haiti, my grandmother told me, Isabelle, no matter what, you don't want to go to church, that's okay. But remember, Easter Sunday, you can't miss that. That was you can't miss Easter Sunday. But I did a little more than just Easter Sunday.
Right, okay.
And with the kids, it was,
Now, you recently wrote a book, and in my opinion, a very important book. And you tackled a subject in your book that, especially growing up within the Haitian culture, or being a woman of faith in the Catholic Church, that is not something that is very easy to kind of detail out in a book. What made you do this?
Long ago, about, I would say, 15 years ago, I was visiting my aunt in Jamaica, and we're talking about the situation in the family. That was the big talk. And my cousin said, Isabelle, you like to write. Why don't you write a book to tell the story, to tell the world? And I thought, not a bad idea. But at the time, like I told you earlier, I was teaching. There was no time to write a book.
Right.
But the idea was still in my mind. And then a few years ago, I read an article about a woman who had a transgender child, and she was finding the guilt. I'm the one who made this. This is my mistake because I carried that child. So that was my mistake, and so on. And I was thinking, it's not our mistakes. And I wish I had kept that article so I could reach that woman again, to speak to her about that. And so that's again another thought that said, I have to write this. I have to write this and say, as a mother, how did I understand what was happening? And that's how, so once I retired, I sat on my computer and I said, I'm putting it down.
Okay. I'd like you to kind of walk us through as far as the agony that woman was going through, that planted the seed that you wanted to kind of a broader, can I use the word dissect, as far as that particular...
I had that feeling, very often I had that feeling also. I carried that child, and that child came out a girl, and now, no, she's not a girl. So part of the mistake is mine. But then, as a Catholic, you're thinking, it's not really mine, it's God, because He's the one who planted that seed. And so it's a mistake that He made through me. It's a very, and I wish, I'd hear more from fathers. Somehow mothers speak a lot more about this.
Right.
I'd like to hear what do fathers feel about this. Do they still have, do they also have that sense of guilt of having made a mistake too?
I think mothers are definitely more intuitive and more in tune with that part. But yes, fathers should be involved. And there's a term that you used a couple of times, and then you also referred back to the woman as far as feeling of a mistake, or God made a mistake.
Right.
Now, how are you seeing it now? Do you still see it in the terms of a mistake?
It's not a mistake.
Okay.
It's not a mistake.
Okay.
This is, and until you get to that point that you realize this is the child's life, and this, in order for that person to be authentic to himself, he has to. There is no mistake, but in the beginning it was hard. It was very hard for all of us, the whole family. His siblings, my sisters, for everyone it was very hard because we all saw it as a mistake. And so it's, you know, if it's a mistake, you can correct it. So everyone was, "Ooh, what can we do to correct it? What can we do?"
Now, how old was the child when the child was going through this transition?
Started out 13, 14, 15.
Within the whole network of family, did the child have at least one person that says no, that was supportive, or everybody was kind of trying to figure out how do we resolve this problem?
Most everyone was. My third, so we have 4 children. The third son, he was the one who really took him up, and that was it, you know.
Okay, so at least there was one support.
And to show you how a complex issue it is, so he accepted it and, you know, supported him, gave him all the support with all the friends, all the cousins, you know, no, this is a boy, this is a boy. And then in the end, he was feeling guilty. Maybe I pushed her. Maybe I'm the one who encouraged it. It's a hard, but for sure he was the one support that he had all along.
And I'm trying to imagine me as that child and kind of seeing that the world is against me. You know, and if no one was there, no one at all, how devastating that could, and damaging something like that could be.
There was, and I dedicated the book to that institute, the Yes Institute in Florida, in Miami. In 11th grade, she, you know, it's hard for me, you know, sometimes I don't know, you know, I always think of, in high school, I say she, and then after high school, it's a he.
Right.
So when she was in 11th grade, she met with the Yes Institute. They went as a field trip to it, and that was his moment. That was his moment. He was accepted immediately. There was no one was questioning him. No one was doubting him, and it was God sent. That.
The name of the institute?
Yes Institute. Their philosophy is to help young children and avoid suicide, because suicide is we went through it. We went on attempt suicide with her, but they were there. They were there to support. They were
obviously a very difficult position to be in. Your family, your support, your network, your lifeline is not aligned with you. So that is a very traumatic situation.
It was.
Who found the Yes Institute? Was it?
She did.
She did.
In high school, they went on a field trip there, and that's how. And he started going there and encouraged me, "Mom, come with me," and I went, and that was also my eye opener.
Right.
My eye opener.
Right.
They helped, and they helped a lot for us too.
And how old was she?
At that time, 16, 17.
16, 17. Okay. Now, let's take between the age of 13 and 15. How was your relationship with her? Was there normalcy to the point where we really didn't talk about that part? We'll talk about everything else, but not that. Was it like that?
I talk a lot about the silence in the house. It was silence, you know. It was as if nothing is happening. Everything is cool and dandy, and it was silence. We didn't talk about it. The family didn't talk about it. In the beginning, actually, she came out as, she said she was a lesbian. And then it was a couple of years, 13, 14, and then 15, once she got in with the Yes Institute. No, this is not what's me. The problem is deeper. It's not me. I'm not a girl. I'm not a woman. And so, and then after high school, he went into hormone therapy, and yeah.
Once entering the essence too, you're invited, you go. Did anybody else in the family start coming on board? Yeah.
Little by little.
Little by little.
Little by little.
Okay. But once you started going, how was the conversation? Was there still silence, or it opened up?
Between her and I, we talked a lot. We talked a lot. Part of it was how are we going to handle this? You know, my problem, no, her problem. Yeah, but we talked a lot, her and I, him and I.
Right.
But with the family, it was not. You know, the cousins, the young ones, sort of accepted it, but you know, and it's funny how people then started feeling like, why can't you just be a lesbian? That was the attitude that we had from everyone. Why can't you just be a lesbian? Why do you want to be a transgender?
That's a little too complicated.
It's more complicated. Yeah.
Now, as time progresses, 18, 19, how do you see his within the immediate family? When I say the immediate, no, you know, not putting the cousins in there, the interaction with his siblings, you and the father. How has the interaction changed?
Still early, you mean?
Right.
18, 20?
Right. Did the silence became less and less with everybody
the silence
within?
became less and less, but still silent. We didn't. No one wanted to get into the reasons and how was he handling it. How was he? What were the? You know, how was he handling it? What was he doing about it? And so on. No one really wanted to know. So he just, I give him so much props, so much. I'm so proud of him, how he survived this. He survived this, and I think it's his attitude that affected us so much, that made us all change and say, we need to accept this person because this person is strong and he knows what he is, he knows. And I think that was a major, a big part of the acceptance that he had.
As far as a mother, do you notice a significant difference in just well-being or being happier once the acceptance started coming from you? And
yes, he is open and has no shame, no embarrassment. You know, he comes to people as, I'm a transgender. It's not, there is nothing to hide. This is me.
Isabelle, we're going to take a little break.
Okay.
When we come back, again, I want us to go deeper, and we're going to talk about that important book that you wrote. Okay. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to Three Tides Restaurant and Bar. I'm Gogo Latotue in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. I'm sitting here with Isabelle Camille, who basically went into a subject that very few in our community talk about. It's an important subject, and we're gonna kind of continue now, and we're gonna kind of look into the book that was written by Isabelle. And so now that you're on board, your siblings are on board, father is on board, let's go to the extended family, the cousins, the aunts, the uncles, how have they?
They have slowly they've accepted.
Okay.
But again, I feel it was, let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. It was, when the book came out, long ago when Simone de Beauvoir wrote Mémoire d'une jeune fille âgée, where she's really telling all about her growing, and to a very Catholic, very extremely family, she said that she sent a bouquet of flowers to her mother to say, I'm sorry, Mom, what you're going to read in that book, but I had to write it. And I felt to myself, maybe I should send some flowers to a few people in the family for what I'm going to say.
Well, the courageous thing that you did, you know, nobody wants to talk about it. I mean, you did something that is very courageous. You actually wrote a book. You put it all in there. So, is that the book there?
Yes.
Okay.
The book, Soulless Mom.
Soulless Mom.
A transgender journey of love, loss, and letting go.
Wow. Okay. Tell us about this book.
Okay.
All right.
It's completely true. I mean, I don't hide anything. I talk about my feelings openly. I say how I felt, how did it affect me to have a child who, first the dreams that I had for that daughter of mine, and to realize that these dreams need to go. And I cannot hold on to the dreams and hurt him in the process. And so I say it all. I say it all. I spoke to people, anybody I was going to say their name, I spoke to them and say, do you mind? And everyone was very agreeable.
Good.
I actually wrote a letter to many family and friends and say, would you like to say a letter? So one of the chapters is the comments that people made. And many people wrote and told me their feelings about the change, and so on. So for now, sky is sky.
So in essence, you have changed a lot of hearts for the better.
I believe so. I believe so. And that's the importance, I think, of this. And we know that there are so many families out there who are suffering because they are in that situation. And I hope to reach a few of them. I hope to reach. My chemistry teacher, when I went to College Bird and say, oh, I'm going to be a chemistry teacher, he said, if you touch one child a year, you're doing a good job. I say, if I touch a few families, I'm happy of what I did. I'm happy. And that's why I couldn't sugarcoat things. I had to say them as is. And if some people are hurt by what I said, I'm happy to talk about it with you, but not, I had to say how it is, how was that journey for us and for him. For him.
Right. And in talking to you, and the thought that keeps coming to my mind is, there's no such thing as an imperfect child. There's no such thing as a perfect child. So, we all have our thing. I know me as a person. There are things about me I'd love to be a little more muscular, but I'm not. This is a true story with me. Very true story. When I was growing up, I was usually taller than most of my friends. And you know what I wanted more than anything? To be short. I always saw myself being tall was an abnormality. There are so many great kids out there, some with autism, but they still have their special gift that they bring to this world. So has it brought you obviously to that place to realize, hey, this is my child.
This is my,
you are proud of him.
I am so proud of him. So, but we both are. We're so proud of him. The way that he handled this whole life change for him. There was never any shame. He was never felt ashamed of who he was. There was, he did have that very weak moment when he attempted suicide, but that was that. That was that, and from that moment on, this was. We talked about being Catholic and how a very significant moment in our life was, and I talk about all that in the book, was a wedding that we had where the whole family from everywhere was coming. And that's when he decided, I am going in a men's suit. Over my dead body, you not.
Oh, you said
that's what I said.
How old was this when this was taking place?
He was 17.
17, okay, right, okay.
So no, that's not happening. Yes, Mom, I'm going in a men's suit. And big battle, the whole family gets involved with it. How is that going to look like, blah, blah. Do you know the one person, and this was my moment of cling. An aunt of mine, old woman, extremely Catholic, in church, with her chapelet in her hand all the time, super religious. And one day she looked at me when I'm losing my mind, how are we going to handle this situation? She looked at me and said, Isabelle, do you realize that God loves you more than you do? And it was like, ouch. Wait a minute, yeah. So this, people who are very deeply religious, I think. They're not, they're more open than those who are, religious in name only. Right. This woman she was my clinking, ringing bell. Wait a minute.
And you would think, because I believe right now, this is just my own opinion, that the younger generation seems to be more tolerant and more accepting than the older generation. But then again, to find somebody who's the older generation to say, hey, that is beautiful.
That was good. That's very proud. And side story, her daughter won't read the book because she's so against it. She thinks it's so wrong, and the whole family is accepting this, blah blah, and she won't read the book. That's her daughter. That's this woman's daughter. So it depends. You just have to. You can't please everyone.
No, you cannot.
You can't.
No, you cannot.
But what I like with Sky is the way that he's living his authentic life. He's not letting anything around him sway him from where he's going, and this is why I'm so proud of him.
Good. And I think any mother or father, I believe what we always want to see for our offspring is that they're happy, they're safe, and they are progressing and living a good, healthy, happy life. That's it is a subject that can I think you are very courageous in bringing out, but as many hearts that you've touched already, and like you mentioned, if you get one child, that's significant. If you're getting one hardliner who you open up somebody's eyes to, that is...
It's a good thing.
I really want to congratulate you on this. Now, as far as the book itself, where is it available if somebody wanted to get a copy of it?
So far, it's only available on Amazon. On Amazon and on Kindle or hard copy.
Okay.
And a few bookstores, last month we went to California and a few bookstores picked it up also. Okay. At Books and Books, they also have copies of it in Coral Gables.
Okay.
But so far, really, the big distribution is Amazon.
Okay. No Barnes and Nobles or those places you haven't approached. Right. I don't know how that system works as far as distribution. Now, I was looking at the book. Forgive me, Isabelle. How do you pronounce this? It says...
Soleil.
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 Oh,
right.
is this an accent on the E or
Soleil's mom.
Soleil's mom? But he's Sky.
Now changed the name to Sky. And everyone asks me, so why didn't you say Sky's mom? Because the book is about Soleil. I think it was my swan song to Soleil. Soleil is over. You know, so this is why I wrote Soleil.
Okay. Wow. And what's the significance of this?
This is a statue that
yes.
we have, a little rock statue that we have in the house. We're thinking, what can we do? What can we do for the cover? And Pantal thought about this, you know, let's put, cute story about this. My granddaughter comes to the house one day and she's playing and she drops it and it breaks. She comes to us crying, Mom, 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 I broke Soleil's mom, I broke Soleil's mom. I'm thinking, what do you mean you broke Soleil's mom? That was the statue, so in her mind, this is Soleil's mom. So that's how this cover came up to be about.
Now, if a family member comes to you and debates you at this point, how do you feel about debating back?
I have a few things to say. Number one is, you know, as we said toward this, there is no perfect child, and there is no. What we need to do is accept our children. We need to accept them. We need to love them, and we need to support them. This is all that we can do. You cannot, you know, you cannot say you're not accepting it and you're going to fight them and force them to change. You can't. It's not fair on them, it's not fair on you. You have to accept. This is what this is about. Acceptance, loving, and supporting.
And the guilt we talked about early on, totally subsided?
Totally, totally.
How about with your son, who felt that at one point, because I supported him, how was he doing?
He's good.
How is their relation?
For a short while, he was doubtful of what he had done. Maybe I pushed it too fast and so on. But now they're like this.
Good.
They're like this.
Good.
And
how old is Sky now?
Sky is 34.
Wow, okay. Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. That is, like I said, as soon as Pantal told me about the book and invited me to come to one of the book signings, and I apologize, I couldn't make it. I mean, it's been very intriguing, and believe me, Isabelle, you know, I'm sounding like a broken record. I very much admire you for your courage, because this is, it's not for the faint heart. I mean, somebody who doesn't have the determination, the intelligence, would probably not, would probably have crumbled under pressure.
Yeah.
You did not.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
So,
because I felt it was important. It is important. You know, you're saying how young people are more accepting now. Actually, these days, things are just not easy at all for.
Of course.
And the more people can read this and other books and be aware of stories like that.
And I truly believe it's like everything else. The more we educate ourselves, the more knowledgeable we become, I think we become more loving, more understanding, and more tolerance is built up within that society. Because again, when we go back in history, there, you know, a lot of groups that have been discriminating against. I was talking to somebody the other day about the Irish. In the early 1900s. They were considered part of the black group because they were so discriminated and so on. And in us as blacks, we were, until there are a lot of people that are gaining more insight, more intelligence, and you know,
knowledge is important. Important. And you know, I'm a teacher at heart. I'm always will be a teacher, though I'm a retired teacher now. But
A teacher, always a teacher. It will never
Anything
leave
I
you.
can do to teach and leave something behind, I want to.
Before we close, what message that comes to the top of your head that you want to just put out there?
I just said it just now. We need to accept. We need to accept people. We need to accept and love. Without those two, life is hard and ugly and not. We need to accept. We need to accept our children. And we need to accept the world around us and people with all of their quirks and their. That's very important. We need to accept and love and support.
Isabelle, again, thank you again for being here with us and sharing this very important story. I wish you all the best, and know Sky is going to keep progressing. Yes. And thank you.
I thank you a lot also for this opportunity to speak to the community.
This is Gogo Latotue, again, from Three Tides Restaurant and Bar in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida. Thank you for watching, and take care of each other.